One of the things that I love about being the underdog is that your comeback or your come up is usually memorable, miraculous, and full of impacts in many different ways. In today's episode, we're going to 100% focus on our guest and her story that is 100% empowering. I don't want to take much from it, but what I can tell you is adversity is the biggest deposit in your bank account, and she's 100% the epitome of taking advantage of that bank account. Because today is going to be an interview that you've never heard before. This is your strategic partner show, and let's get ready on the road.
I've been caught up since the day that we met, and you haven't seen the best of me yet. There's nothing like you and me together, and your eyes have been so hard to forget. But there's something you're trying to hide. There's something you're keeping inside. But I'm trying to get to know you much better. It don't matter how much time it takes. I just can't give up. Whoa, I just can't give up. Can't give up. I just can't give up. Oh, I just can't give up. I just can't give up.
That song comes up, I don't want to stop. I want to just keep on going. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to a brand new episode of Your Strategic Partner Show. And my goodness, we got the crew from all over the country. And I'm going to start with my sister from my city, from my state, the one and only Elizabeth Cousins. What's up, rock star? How are you doing today?
I'm doing awesome. Having a fantastic week. Very exciting week.
Yes, indeed. And your modules are dropping tonight. I'm so excited about plugging that as well. Awesome. I can't wait to share that with the world. From Massachusetts, the one and only Debbie Beltola Salmons. What's up, rock star? How you doing today?
I am doing so great. Elizabeth, I am so excited to see those modules drop, girl. I am so stoked. Yeah, it's been a busy week all over, man. It's been a global weekend and a global week so far this week. I've been on calls with Russia and Sweden and India and Philippines. And, you know, I just love it. The world is just amazing, you guys.
Love it. Let's stay busy. And, of course, the man you love to love, Tokoyo Carlton from North Carolina. What's up, boss?
What's going on, champ? What's up, champies out there, man? I'm super excited. I'm sitting here, man. Listen, here's the thing, man. How's my week? My week is incredible as always, man. We're doing some amazing things. People are growing. But here's what I'm excited about, man. Just really watching our group, our core group here just grow. And I was just befuddled just a little bit, just listening to Elizabeth talk. And it's just like, guys, man, just understand. I was just listening to her talk. And I was like, go Elizabeth. Like, dude, just the confidence, the way she's speaking, and it's coming from a diagram. And oh my God, girl, listen, kudos to you. You're doing amazing. Your growth is just going, bonkers. You know what I'm saying? So again, kudos to you. All right. I'm excited. I'm just happy for where you're going and where you're still going and still growing. So, hey, back to you, sir.
Man, I love it. And yes, young lady is going to St. Lucia in 2 weeks. And just so many amazing things. I'm proud of you, Elizabeth. But today is about a special guest and her story. And I will tell you, I hope you are already. You're going to need to take a piece of paper and pen next to you because you're going to have to take notes in order to keep up with her greatness and the adversity that she'd had to overcome. Now, I have been privileged that I read her story. I read her bio. I read her background as it is going into preparation for an article. But it is incredible to hear from somebody that is happy, smiling, and making the world smile every single day. And she is the one and only Marie Wilcox.
Hello.
What's up, rock star? How are you doing today?
I'm doing fantastic. Thank you. I'm so excited to be here. Excited to be part of you guys.
Excited
to have you here.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, I don't even know where to begin, but Molly, I read your story as the team is working on it, and it was a lot that I didn't even know. That the team was like, "Whoa, did you know this? Did you know this? Did you know that?" And I'm like, "No, no, and no," because I know you even told me a couple of weeks ago you have to clear certain things to talk about your story before it becomes public. And as deep as that is, I'm really, really excited for the world to get to know, learn, and hear directly from you. So, Molly, why don't you take a moment? Tell us a little bit about yourself, about how it all began, who do you help, how do you help them, the results that you create, and of course, where's the journey for you today?
Yeah, absolutely. So again, my name is Molly, and I help people who are feeling lost and want more out of life. And I do that through study materials, intentional affirmation systems, and masterminds. And I help people to increase their income and create the dream life that they desire. And this is all based off of things that I've done, the steps that I've done to get to where I was then to where I am now. So get to where sorry.
No, go for it.
Oh, sorry. So I'll just go straight into it. So one thing that I've learned, throughout my entire life. Oh, I think we have a little bit of feedback.
Looks like somebody has the live airing on another device. So somebody from behind the scene, backstage, let's handle that, or somebody's gonna get fired. I'm kidding. There's nobody behind stage. It's really just me.
It sounded like he was playing on somebody's Facebook.
I think we're good.
Yeah, we're good. We're
perfect. Good. So if there's anything that I have learned in my 38 years of being in this world, is that everything is about choices, and everything is about the way that we feel about ourselves, the things that we're saying in our head, our exact ratio to what our life consists of. Okay. So I was a mom at 15 years old. That's where it all began. Mom of 15 years old. I was a mom of 4 by the time I was 22. I was a military wife, and that's what I did. Is I was a mom, and I was in a not so good situation with my children, and we decided that we were going to go and get out of it. That was the choice that I had made. It took some what's the word I can use? Basically some preparation from the state of Washington to safely get me and my children out of the situation. That resulted in a lot of pain. Like when I was in an abusive situation, and my abuser told me that if I got out of that situation, things were going to get worse, and they did. And I ended up fighting in court a lot, and I ended up I'm not sure if you guys have ever heard of court abuse, but that's what I endured. And sorry.
It's okay. It's okay.
I went to jail 6 times for crimes I wasn't committing, but my abuser was able to make that happen. I was facing a year in prison for the crimes I didn't commit. And what I realized, sorry guys, what I realized during all of that was it was defeating me. It was defeating me, and it was literally just bulldozing over my entire life. I had turned to alcohol. I was starting to turn to drugs. I started dipping into the pain pill world because I had gotten into a car accident and messed some things up, and all of a sudden your body starts craving that stuff, right? So we had a situation where I had the choice between putting that stuff down or stepping into a drug that was way harder than that. And I tapped into it for a second, and I made a decision to not. I'd made a decision that I was not going to let that kind of stuff control me and control my life and what I had gone through. Period. The end. And I remember, going through periods of time where I would have conversations with my dad, and I'm like, where is this wonderful God that you're talking about? God doesn't do that to people. God doesn't do that. For a little time there, my kids were stolen. I had no idea where my kids were at. I didn't know if they were safe. I didn't know nothing. And I didn't understand how God could do that. Well, come to find out, God wasn't doing that. God wasn't doing that at all. And I was standing in my driveway one day, and I remember I just had enough. And that's the first time that I had prayed and reached out to my higher power in probably a good 2 years. And everything from that moment changed. Literally everything from that moment changed. I was facing that year in prison. I had paid my attorney. I somehow came up with money to pay an attorney that wasn't really doing the work that I needed him to do. So I took it upon myself to do the steps that needed to be done to keep myself out of prison. And one thing that I've learned is a lot of people don't believe in God, and that's okay. You don't have to believe in God. I don't want to go into a religious spiel, but one thing that I always say is, whether you believe in God or whether you believe in a higher power or whether you believe in whatever it may be, the universe, whatever it is, we all believe in something, I'm sure. I mean, there's some that don't, but there's something there. I don't care what you call it. The only thing that I'm going to say is you need to call upon it, period, the end. You need to rely on whatever that higher power is for you. You need to rely on it, because your life will completely change and completely get better once you start doing that. So I started to study about in 2006. I started studying a little bit Bob Proctor. I had, applied some of those things in the whole entire situation without really understanding that that's what I was implying. And then a few years back, I really started hammering down on Bob Proctor and his teachings, and Napoleon Hill and Earl Nightingale and all of them. And man, what a change. Like, what a change, So, and the things that we become what we think about, right? We become what we think about, period, at the end. And when somebody's in a situation like that, or in a drug addiction, or in alcohol, or in a custody battle, or whatever it may be, it's hard to kind of wrap your head around that. Because in the moment, I didn't think that I had control over what was going on, even though it seemed like I was so deep into this. And I was going to jail for things that I wasn't even doing. How do you get out of that? I figured it out. You know what I mean? Like, my level of awareness just kept raising and raising and raising, and I figured it out, and I'm out, right? I'm moved 1,400 miles away. I'm married to my best friend. My children are beautiful and healthy. And, I got a grandbaby on the way, and another one that's 8 months old. And so we got out of it. Right. And so my whole entire mission is to be in front of people and let people know that it doesn't matter the situation you're in now, it's going to get better. It is going to get better. Right. So, I'm just going to kind of roll into the Think and Grow Rich, the 13 success principles, because no matter what angle that you're taking in life, these 13 principles, you can use them, whether it's in any situation, whether it's to make more money, whether it's to increase business, it doesn't matter what it is. But what those are,
Molly, real quick,
yep.
because
you dropped a whole lot on us, and before you go, we need to talk.
Yeah.
We interviewing you today, all right?
Perfect.
So the whole thing is simply this. I really wanted to kind of jump in. I was waiting for that time to really cut in. And when you was getting ready to go for the 13, I was like, let me get in there.
We need to give you some love first.
Yeah, but again, hey, listen, first of all, I gotta send out all the love to you.
Yes, same here.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And and the whole thing is like, I think I made a post the other day, like saying that someone can take the same situation that you're in and they can win with it, right? So like sometimes when we're going through that thing, we just think that's it. There's nowhere out. There's no help for me. And it's so crazy. Like, I'm pretty sure you got help along the way, because you got the help to get the money to get the lawyer and, attorney and all that stuff. But it was just you, as you said, gaining awareness. And I think that if like more people who go through things, and maybe not as dramatic or as serious as yours, but just knowing that there's a higher power out there. There's something you can believe in that's going to help you to get out of that situation, right? And then of course it's being able to sit down for like 2 seconds and really just see where you are. And as you can see where you are, you can start to map those things out. And I believe at that moment when you said it was that moment that everything clicked and you start to change and you start to realize there was outlets out there to help to change. And then of course you didn't mind switching location. You didn't mind relocating. And so many people stay in the mess because they stay right where the mess is.
Yeah.
Right? They don't want to clean the plate. They don't want to clean the, around the house and all that stuff. And here you are saying, listen, I can no longer stay here because everything here is venomous, right? Yes. I don't want to continue to get poisoned by everything that's happening around me. I'm going to go into a whole new situation, whole new friends, and again, find my love of my life, my best friend, have my kids grow them up in an environment where they're being loved and they're seeing love between two people.
Right, absolutely. Well, and it's the thing that kind of clicked for me is I along the way I had learned, or I had met other people who were going through similar situations, obviously not exact, but similar, and they were giving up. And I was like, and I just kept watching people give up, and I'm like, there's no way in hell I'm giving up. There absolutely no way I'm ever going to give up. I'm going to keep pushing. And so people are like, you're so much stronger. Not everybody's as strong as you are, or not everybody can do what you can do. No, that's not true. That's not true, because I went through the hard times and I just figured out how to get myself through the hard times.
I'll tell you this, Molly, one thing you mentioned is you said, I don't know if people are familiar with court abuse. So I'm shocked that you're mentioning that there's such a thing in the United States, because where I was born and raised, Morocco, at the time it was a third world country, and my parents had a horrible, like ugly divorce. And I relate to a lot of what you've experienced as, I was one of 4 children, and it was a terrible divorce. It was a lot of physical and emotional abuse. I'm sure you know what I'm referring to, because you can't forget that stuff, right? You can only learn how to cope with it. And I've seen and firsthand witnessed court abuse where, obviously there were a lot of bribery and things like that back then. And, what messed my head up back then was, this court that's willing to take bribery and side with, back then, my father, who's back in my life, everything is good now. But back then, whether he didn't know any better or did whatever he did, instead of giving these 4 kids and a woman in a third world country a little bit of an alimony just to survive, so I'm shocked that there is such a thing in the United States. At least, I guess you can call it an immigrant moment. But at the same time, kudos to you, because I've seen firsthand, I've witnessed from front row seat how my mother had to fight and get out of an extremely, and I'm talking about bloody, once a week kind of a situation. And that takes a lot of strength, but also a lot of courage and a lot of work to heal from that trauma. One of the things that, that us as my mother's kids, we still till this day, there's no alcohol in front of my mother, regardless to who is in the house. And not because, we can't if we wanted to, but it's more of, we know the trauma that my mother relates the concept of alcohol to. Whenever there was alcohol, it was always somebody's getting beat up, and 99% of the time it was her. So we could have like a full wedding. Heck, I had my wedding and I didn't have a sip of champagne on a toast of my wedding because my mother was right in there, right? And I don't regret it. I'm grateful for that. I'm excited for the fact that we have it within us to honor our mom. And I'm praying that your children feel the same way of how lucky they are to have someone like yourself, because listen, we've all seen and heard stories, they end up on late night TV shows, 2020 or date night, whatever those shows are called, right? Where everything was great. And one day John woke up and shot all his family, right? And I'm just grateful that you've done what you've done. And, through all of that turmoil, here you are with an amazing husband, who is funny as ever, who's caring, loving, right? And congrats, by the way. You guys are still fairly newlyweds. Was it 6 weeks now, 7 weeks, just about?
July 3rd is when we got married.
Nice.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah.
So newlyweds, ladies and gentlemen, much kudos on that for you. Now, I want to go to Elizabeth because I know Elizabeth's gonna, Elizabeth, you firsthand can relate to Molly and the idea of a relationship that is fueled with abuse. What's your take, on what Molly had to endure and what has helped her to get where she's at? Do you feel like you relate to her circumstance, that you are where you are in life, or what's your take?
Definitely, Molly, I was so inspired by your story. I almost cried. I want to give you some love because I went through the same thing. I went to jail for something I didn't do, but I remember crying in that jail cell so much. I was being the higher power. For me, it's God. And I came out that same night, so I was really inspired by your story because it shows you that when you reach out to that higher power, things can turn for you. So
Absolutely. And I was thinking the same thing about your story. I'm like, I relate to her a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's amazing.
I'm going to have to step in
Please do.
as the oldest one here.
I don't think you're the oldest. You're just have the highest sense of wisdom out of all of us.
Yeah, and I do mention my age a lot, but honestly, guys, it's not. I'm actually thrilled with my age. I mean, I've had an amazing life, but Molly, so I actually can recognize everything you're talking about. Okay. As a younger person, very much younger, I had a rough relationship as well. And I did turn to alcohol and drugs. And what I can tell you, actually, let me see. As of today, I am sober 30 years, 10 months, 12 weeks, 8 days, 5 minutes, and 22 seconds.
That's amazing.
So that's the first connection. Okay. Well, the first connection is an abusive relationship, although I didn't have children. Second is that choice that I made, because what we know is with alcohol and any drugs, by the way, you have a choice until it's ingested. And once it is ingested, there is no choice left anymore. Okay. So, the fact that you became aware and you made that choice, I understand, because I made that choice as well. So I can relate to that. Third thing is I'm a psychologist by trade, and I used to work in the court systems in juvenile probation and family court. So I am well aware of the courtroom dramas. I still actually am involved in that. I actually spent the past 2 summers going to court with a woman in the same exact situation as you. So I say that because my heart is literally pounding out of my chest, because I am so familiar with all of these areas. And I know what it takes to rise up and fight in one of those areas. Now add all of them together. And you're right, Molly. I have watched people quit over and over and over. And in the 30 years of sobriety, I have heard of this one quitting and of this one dying. And yes, Ali, of this one killing his family.
Yep.
I've experienced all of it. So my chest is pounding because words are not enough to tell you how amazingly courageous you are. Those words aren't strong enough at all. And Elizabeth as well, right? Because it takes everything you've got plus some.
Yep.
Right? And then the same as you, whether it's God or higher power, I can tell you this is what I was taught. In the course of history, archaeologists have actually said that there was probably something like 18,000 deities, gods, goddesses, animals, trees, whatever, that people have worshipped in one way or another since the beginning of time. So I was told, I don't care what you choose, but you're not God. That's the only thing you need to know. And there are 18,000 choices out there for you to believe in. So find one, believe in it, and rise up. So that's all I've got to say at this moment, because you actually have me verklempt, and that doesn't happen very often. So I just want you to know that your mission, whoo, girl, your mission, because so many people think exactly what you said. You're stronger than me.
I got that all the time.
And you've got something that I don't have.
Yeah.
And I've done and do what you do. I look at them and I say, absolutely not, because where I started was with nothing.
Yep. Yep.
So bravo.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Bravo.
Thank you.
We're going to take a quick commercial break in here, and we're going to dig a little bit more into your story, Molly, and I'm going to extract as many nuggets that I can, because to endure everything that you've endured is something to brag about. So please hang tight. We're going to watch a quick commercial break, and we'll be right back.
Hey there, my name is Elizabeth Cousins, CEO and founder of Dreamable, a movement that allows you to dream big and live big. Whether that's to start a business, to develop a nonprofit, or to create that total financial freedom that you desire for you and your family, Dreamable's got you. We host a unifying entrepreneurial academy, and we've partnered up with strategic partners and companies to give you the tools and resources to make a difference. Starting with your mindset, to overcoming limiting beliefs, to positioning you within our platforms, plus providing you with live and on-demand, hands-on practical training. Platforms like I Am Dreamable, an entrepreneurial community to start, grow, and scale a business, where you'll receive 3 new modules a month on the most practical business processes that creates millions of dollars in revenue. Dreamable Financial Education Partners to make your money work for you. A public relations platform to get you featured within 27 national publications, including the New York Weekly and the Los Angeles Tribune. And work with me directly, the DEO herself, aka Dreamable Executive Officer. Visit me today at dreamablebyelizabeth.com. And remember, keep on dreaming, because you never know, they may just come true.
As they say, Booyakasha. And welcome back. So, Molly, I definitely want to dig into, for somebody to not only endure what could seem and feel like house arrest because of the abusive relationship, what could seem like you have no choice just because you have your children in the middle of the whole circumstance. And then even when you got out of that situation and being a victim of the court abuse and ended up in incarcerations, we need to know what drove the I will make it out and we're going to be okay mindset. Because I know you've mentioned that you had, going into alcohol or drug abuse at one point, but what made you say, no matter what, we're going to make it and we're going to make it big?
My kids, they were the driving force behind all of it. I've protected them since the day that they were born, and I wasn't going to stop. And we had gotten to a point in the court battles where he actually won custody of my kids. And I was told that it was impossible in the state of Oregon to get custody back. So at one point at the beginning, we had joint custody. And then he ended up winning custody from whatever he ended up doing. And I was told that it was impossible. And to hell with that. It is not impossible. Those are my children. Watch me. And I succeeded not even 3 months later. So when I took that and I'm like, I got told that this was impossible and I made the impossible happen, that's when I started realizing how strong of a person I actually was and what I was actually capable of.
Yeah, no, that's impeccable. And when did the journey with Proctor Gallagher and the 13 laws and just where did all that begin for you? Was it after you've put yourself in a better place, or was it because of those fundamentals you figured out how to get out? Like, walk us through that journey.
So I actually was introduced to Bob Proctor about 2006 or 6-ish when The Secret came out. I think about the time that everyone kind of started learning who Bob Proctor was. I dove into it for a tiny bit, but it wasn't much. And then, going through everything that I was going through, I had realized that I was taking some of the things that he would say and I was implementing it. Now, I don't know if it was because I happened to remember what he had talked about years before that, or if I was what they call an unconscious competent, right? So I was doing the things, and I would say close to about 2.5, 3 years ago, I was reintroduced to Bob Proctor. So this is after we had gotten out of whatever we were going through, and it just resonated with me so much, and what I learned is that, again, I'm not any stronger and I'm nothing more special than anybody else, that we all have the same exact capabilities. So that's kind of where the journey began. I think when I was little, I remember hearing his voice on a TV, and I remember somebody saying that was crazy, right? That's all as I remember. And then once I started studying it and it started resonating with me, I just started applying it, and I haven't looked back.
Do you well, and this is my last question before I yield to my partners in here, but do you feel that there are many people, women specifically, in the case that you were in still today, and because of their limited beliefs or their fears or thinking that they can't get out of it, they're just kind of living through that pain?
Yeah.
Can you speak onto that, because you've lived it? So, when you said, I'm going to get out of this situation, was it right away, or did you endure it for a while before you made a decision, I got to get out of this place?
So I didn't realize at the time that everything was my decision, that it was all in my hands. It actually took me 7 times to leave the abusive situation before I left completely. What I will say, though, is that to the people who are going through it now and feeling it now, like, if you can just get that belief inside of yourself that you are capable of anything, you will be capable of literally anything.
Correct.
You know what I mean? Like, I remember the days where I had if I didn't get out when I did, I had plenty of people tell me that they were afraid it would end in a bloodbath. It was bad. And I made the decision to get out. And then everything after that was decisions. And then once I realized that even me turning to alcohol, because it made the pain go away for a little while, that was my decision. I made that decision. So now I'm responsible for that.
Yeah, no, that's fascinating. Dakota, take it away, man.
And I just love the fact that she used the word decision like multiple times, because at the end of the day, as a human being in control of your own life, and I know, again, in that situation, in an abusive situation, maybe you feel like you're not in control, right?
Right.
But when you get out and you can have that choice, meaning you got out of that situation, you don't have to stay there. And again, like I said, the best thing you said was everything after that point was a decision.
Right. Yep.
Decisions are very important. So if you're listening to this today, you're one decision away, right? And after you do that one decision, you're another decision away, because it's always one decision after the other until we leave this earth, right? Choices are everything, and we all have them.
If you guys don't mind me saying really quick, Earl Nightingale, I have my note right here. He says, we tend to minimize the things we can do, the goals we can accomplish, and for some equally strong reason, or strange reason, we think others can do things that we cannot. Isn't that funny? Like, we think that this person over here is strong enough to do it, but I am not. Like, we all have the capabilities. We all have it, whether it's down the same exact, it's not going to be the same exact path. It's all going to look different.
That's right.
But we all have the same capabilities.
Yeah. So Molly, let's get into your teaching zone for a bit. You've recently launched your own academy. You've recently launched your own training and teaching platform and services to help individuals to overcome their limited beliefs and achieve their paradigm, which is fantastic. What is your message to that person that's watching right now and saying, easy for you to say, you don't understand what I'm going through right now? How can we help that individual to make an instant change right away and make a decision to get out of their circumstance?
The thing that comes to mind right when you ask me that question is, if you always do what you always did, you will always get what you always got. Period. So if you're in a situation and you're doing the same things and thinking that that's going to get you out of the situation, that's wrong. You've got to switch it up. You've got to use your higher faculties. God gave us 6 higher faculties, and people forget about that. A lot of people live off of their 5 physical senses, which is see, smell, hear, taste, and touch, right? God gave us, or your higher power, or the universe, or whatever we want to call it, perception, will, imagination, memory, intuition, and reason, right? As soon as we can lock into those, anything is possible. But just like Takoyo said, when you're in the situation, you don't realize that you have the power to change everything. You don't realize that. I never knew that until I did it.
No, that's powerful. Ladies, what you got?
Well, I was just going to add on to that is, Molly, I don't know what your experience was or is with others, but one of the other experiences I have with a lot of women is, there's so many forms of abuse as well, right? And I saw Evangeline just posted about, emotional abuse. And I work with a lot of women that have had that emotional abuse where they've been consistently told, you're worthless, you're dumb, you'll never succeed at anything, right? Nonstop, all day, every day. And I know some of the things I do when I work with some of those women. And the first thing is to let them know that it's going to be a journey, right? Because changing that programming, as much as we all would, we can make the decision to change it, but it's going to it's not a one and done. It's not a one and done. We got to keep making that decision to change it and keep making the decision to read another book or get a counselor or get a mentor or listen to a podcast, whatever it is. So I'm just curious, Molly, and maybe this goes into some of, the teaching that you're going to do, but how you walked yourself through those limiting beliefs and reprogramming, and your advice for other women, because, it's basically going from that victim to victim mentality, right? Mm-hmm. So if you would share a little on that, I would so appreciate it.
Absolutely. So people, when they hear the word victim, a lot of people kind of feel like they're just backed into a corner. I'm not a victim. The thing is, though, is being a victim isn't necessarily a bad word, but you have to recognize it in order to get out of it. So, one thing that I did is, a lot of things that I did, being in the relationship that I was in, when I had left it, I was told all those things that you had said. You're worthless, you're fat, nobody's going to want you, blah, 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 blah. So actually it was like within a year after my relationship ended back in 2010, that's when I had met my current husband now. And at that point, I didn't know my worth at all. And I sabotaged that relationship in every single possible way I could, right? And that consisted of 10 years of me just doing whatever I could to push him away. And here we are now married. So that obviously didn't work out too well. But, but I think that an affirmation system is extremely important. I have designed and created my own affirmation system that I do every single day. And I think that, some people are like, okay, well, once I have the belief in myself, once I, once I get the I don't know what the word I'm looking for. Anyway, it's not just going to come to you, right? It's not just going to come to you. And you're not just going to have that faith just because you're lucky enough to have that faith. It's something that you have to consistently work on every single day. Right. There isn't a day that goes by that I do not work on myself.
Yeah, I love that. And thank you, Molly. You know, I actually, a thing popped up in my Facebook memories from about 4 years ago, a live that I did. And I was walking around on my farm and we were sprinkling the farm, right? Because it needed water. And so that's the same thing, guys. So any of you guys that are watching that, this is never a one and done. Personal growth and development and mindset is a forever event, right? Make it just part of who you are. Because if we're not growing, we're dying. That's a scientific fact. You know, if a plant's not getting fertilized and watered and getting the nutrients that it needs, then it's going to start dying, right? And so thank you for sharing that, because I think that a lot of us think that, oh, when once I get it, I got it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And it's there and it's etched in. No, it's it's the same with weight, right? We have to keep eating correctly, keep exercising. It's here. And it is so amazing that, like you say, this right here and Elizabeth's opening about mindset, it's all here, you guys. Believe it. It all starts here. And as Molly has so eloquently stated and is proving, is that, you know, everybody's got it inside of them. But what we need is a community of people, right? Someone around us to begin that lifting up process, right? So, you know, Molly, I'm making an assumption, but I think it's probably a fair one, that somewhere you grabbed on to some people. It started with Bob Proctor and books and audio tape, but I'm sure that you also brought real people into your journey to walk on that journey with you as well. So I don't know if you want to share a little bit about that. That would be super too. Except for I see Takoyo and I know that move. I know. I know this move right here.
And he's gonna say something. Yeah.
That's Debbie. That's when he says, no, not really, but he says not really, and then he says, but go. Hey, Takoyo, did you have something to add?
No, I actually don't. But no, I really didn't have anything to add. I just, because I know right now we're sitting at 6:45, and she mentioned 13 steps probably about 15 minutes ago. We wanted to dive into more of your story and how you overcame it, because again, not only do the listeners need to hear about people and their journey, but how they overcame them. That's why we wanted to kind of hopper there a little bit. But we also want to talk about now those 13 steps, I believe you said, that you had that really can help people to progress from that moment of awareness. Because like you said, it was the moment of awareness that got you to start taking that one decision after decision after decision to where you are now and the happiness that you have for you and your family now. So if you can kind of go over that for us, and let's get right into that, because we don't want to miss any part of what helped you and also what's helping people that you're helping now.
Yeah,
sure, absolutely.
Before we do, you know, I got to do the cliffhanger, you guys. Before we do,
Elizabeth,
I gotta remind you that last week we dropped a brand new video module series, actually the very first one from Debbie Beltola Salmons, all about Financial Literacy 101. It's right now in the Academy. If you don't have access, IM.media, click on Academy, and you can go ahead and enroll for an average of $1.50 a day. But also, we're debuting Elizabeth Cousins for the very first time in her career, her own video series as well. And that's going to be released tonight. And she's our guest trainer and speaker this evening on our weekly training session for the IM platform, the I Am Dreamable platform. So if you are not a member, jump on im.media today, and you have the opportunity 100% to participate and learn in an unlimited fashion for an average of $1.50 a day. Get your membership today. All right, back to you, young queen. Talk to us about those 13 principles, please.
Absolutely. So, and I just kind of want to bounce off of something that Debbie had said is, you know, it's not a, I always like to say it's not a wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. Like, you're not going to pick up a book, read it, feel good, and then put it down, and then everything's going to just turn around for you. It's something that you have to be consistent with. Consistency is key in the entire thing. So, so the 13 success principles that if you guys have ever read Think and Grow Rich, I think you guys know what the 13 success principles are, but definite decision, faith, auto-suggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, decision, organized planning, persistence, power of the mastermind, sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, the brain, and the six senses. Okay, so those are your 13 success principles that are really important. I'm going to go a little bit deep into just a couple of them. But one of them that I do want to go into is your definite decision. So I'm going to just pull out a subject, and we're just going to go with the subject of money, because we all love the subject of money, right? So when it comes to money, you got to choose a definite amount of that you want. Okay. What you intend to give for it, because when you are manifesting or, bringing that money into your life, that money isn't just for you. Okay. And that's something that we can go into another time. You need to pick an exact date, create a definite plan to achieve it, write a clear statement with the amount, time, and plan, read it aloud daily, once in the morning and once at nighttime. Now, this can go for anything, not just money. Money is just one of my favorite topics, so I tend to just talk about that a lot, but that can be with anything, whether that's getting out of a situation, that you might be in that you don't want to, or whether that's, increasing business or whatever it may be. Those are the 6 basic principles of a definite decision. Okay. The next one is faith. So we had covered a little bit of that. Faith is a huge one. For a long time, I didn't have faith in myself. I didn't have faith in my God. I didn't have faith in really anything. And it was because it just wasn't coming to me. And I guess I just thought that that's how it came to you. But again, the affirmation systems are really, really, really important. Because that's where you're going to get your belief. And that's where you're going to get that's what it is, the belief that you can achieve whatever it is that you're trying to achieve. Your imagination, that's super important. Okay. This is one of the 6 higher faculties that I had mentioned earlier. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard what Einstein had said about that, but the imagination is the preview to life's coming attraction. So if you can tap into that imagination, you've kind of tapped into gold there. And yeah, that's really what it is. I'll repeat it too, so that you guys can, if you guys want to write it down or whatever, but definite decision. Okay. Faith, auto-suggestion, specialized knowledge, imagination, organized planning, decision, persistence, power of the mastermind, sex transmutation, the subconscious mind, the brain, and the sixth sense. And I guess the best thing I can do and say about that is, if you've never read Think and Grow Rich, that's definitely a book you want to pick up, because it's not just about ways to bring in money. It's ways to transform your entire life, everything. Oh.
That is awesome, Molly. That is really awesome. Yeah, and that is an absolutely great book. I don't even know how many times I've read that, and I've got it on Audible, and there's so many good books out there, like you said. But the other thing about that, that you piggybacked off of me, which is, even when we read a good book, sometimes not every single sentence hits us, right? Sometimes you can read a whole book and it might just be 1 or 2 sentences that light you up. Well, guess what? It's worth it for those 1 or 2 sentences to change your life, right? So I've always got the highlighter, and then I like to take the highlights out, and those go into my highlight notebook, right? Those things that strike us. I want to talk to you about, I don't know if you mind sharing a little bit about what you do with creating and helping people create their own affirmations. Will you just talk about that a little bit? Because, I've got affirmations, some I've taken from others, but I would love to hear more about how you help individuals create them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you had asked me too, Debbie, about the people I surround myself and things that I've clung on to. And I just want to bounce off of that. So if I remind me of that question right there. But I think that it's super important to surround yourself with people who have already done the things that you're trying to do. Yeah. Right. That's super important. And a lot of people, I know for a long time, for me anyway, I would watch videos of Bob Proctor, or I would watch videos of Kim Calvert, or I would, whatever it was, whatever. But it's when I started investing in myself and getting myself into different masterminds and groups is where everything really just started to take off. Now, back to that question that you had just asked me. Re-ask that question one more time. I'm so sorry.
Oh, it's okay. I'm still thinking about the other one. Takoya, what did I just ask her?
Oh, the affirmation system.
Oh, yes, the affirmation system.
Okay.
So
So
how you do that, how you create that with someone.
yeah. So I'll just tell you the affirmation system that I have. I'll just tell you about what it is. Okay. So my affirmation system, it starts out with 10 I ams. Okay. The first one and I do this every day. The first one that I write is I am enough. Period. The end. That is what I start with every single time.
I thought you were going to say I am dreamable.
I am dreamable. I am that too. I am dreamable. But then I go into other things. I am beautiful. I am a great mom. I am motivated. I am a leader, all the way down to 9, because my 10th one is always I am God's highest form of creation, because that's powerful. Like, if you can understand the power of being God's highest form of creation, you would understand the capabilities that you have, right? Yes. The second part of my affirmation system is 10 things that I attract. The first one that I always start with is I attract money easily and frequently or in increasing quantities on a consistent basis. Every single time it starts with that. And then I go into 9 other I attract leaders. I attract like-minded people. I attract motivation. I attract whatever, all the way down to 10. And every day, it's not the same every day. Just the first one.
First and the last.
Yep. Then the next one is 10 things that I'm thankful for now. I'm so thankful for my home. I'm so thankful that I get to take a hot shower. I am so thankful for the food in my cupboards. Whatever it may be, right? Yes. Then I slide into, and I go from 1 to 10, and then I just write 11. And then I go 11 through 20, and I write 10 things that I'm thankful for in the future. But I am so happy and grateful now that I bought my home in Wyoming. I am so happy and grateful now that I'm Bob Proctor's top PGI consultant. In that section, I always write my money amount. I am so happy and grateful now that I make $1 million a month. Then I go, I am so happy and grateful now that I donate $100,000 a month. Because again, that money that's given to you is not just given to you for you. It's given to you to spread the love, right?
Yes.
Okay. Then so I'm writing all that with my right hand, my dominant hand, right? The next 10, I'm going to switch and put the pen in my other hand, and I'm going to start writing it with my non-dominant hand. And what I'm going to write is I'm going to write the goal that I'm after, my big goal. Mine happens to be I'm Bob Proctor's top PGI consultant. So every day with my left hand, I write, I am so happy and grateful now that I'm Bob Proctor's top PGI consultant, and I write that 10 times. The reason for that, though, is because when you're writing with your dominant hand, you get to a point where you don't really have to think too much about what's being put on paper. When you pass that pen over to the hand you can't really write with, now you're thinking. You're thinking about everything that's getting put down on paper. So what's happening is you are getting deeper and deeper and deeper into your subconscious mind, and that is exactly where you want your belief system to grow, is in that subconscious mind.
Yes, absolutely, man. That was fire. That was absolute fire.
Hold on, Debbie. Look at the hand.
Oh yeah. Oh, sorry, Takoya. I missed you. I saw him.
Okay. All right. That's good stuff. I mean, I've been on these shows.
You want to share?
Yeah. Thank you for giving me a chance. But you know what? It's so crazy because this is one of those examples where if you stop learning or stop growing, you start dying. And it's like, I've been around this game for a long time and been around some great speakers and trainers and listened to all kind of audio books and all this stuff. And it's so crazy. Like, that's the first time I heard that, like, ever, like, to write with the left hand, like all the stuff I've heard. That's the first time I heard that.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? Like, that's powerful.
Bob Proctor wrote me back before he passed away. And that was what he told me to do.
Nice.
To do that. Yeah.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So hey, that's all I had to add is that
and
I learned that's something I learned that today.
Perfect.
Yeah.
There's always something more to learn. Isn't that what's the best part of it? And
Absolutely.
I had heard that before, but can I tell you this? True authenticity here. Haven't been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
So guess what? Guess what I'm going to be doing tonight, Molly? Tonight, because
that's why it's so important to be consistent with your studying, because like you said, Debbie, you have heard this before, but it's not anything that kind of clicked with you. And that's why you want to be consistent with your studying and studying and studying and studying, because things are going to start clicking. Oh, okay. I've heard that before, but it didn't quite click. Here it is.
Yes. Yes. Fantastic.
I took a whole lot of notes. I really have. And
so did I.
there will be a lot that's going to come out of today, and we're grateful for you, Molly, for obviously sharing your story, for having the courage to open up. Many people are they use the excuse of, I don't want to air out my dirty laundry, but the fact that you've overcome all the things that you have is going to inspire somebody right now that is watching this to do something that they should have done a very, very long time ago. Now, I know we have about 2 minutes until we wrap it up, but Tokoya, I'd love for you if you can give us a short and sweet moment, motivational moment, as you do every single week. I know there's a lot that can be talked about, but my goodness, we are so inspired by what Molly has done. But I'll let you have it for a minute, boss, and talk to us.
Muted, brother.
Man, y'all always miss my good stuff, man. I don't even know if I can remember what I just said. I said something like, hey, guys, this is a motivation. That's what it was. This is a motivational moment. So that's all you missed. But here's the thing, guys. Listen, like, I love stories. And see, the great thing about a motivational moment is that it's all about stories. Stories is what sells. Stories is what changes people. Can you imagine, like, if you notice, guys, and we could talk about biblical, right? We could talk about, stories in the Bible. They're all stories. You understand? It was taught in stories, right? It's preached in stories. And so again, the whole thing is, guys, we can take someone else's story and get glory for ourselves. I need you to understand that. So again, as you listen to this person today, this young lady, Molly is an example of a story. See, her story isn't isolated, right? We've heard about these stories. We know people in our family and friends have been through this story. So this isn't a new story, right? It's just someone who's been through something, but that story she had today was a story that you needed to hear. And so I think it's important as we start to grow and we start to matriculate in our lives and we start to understand that decisions are what make and break us every single day. It's the decision to go out and, get up early in the morning, right? It's a decision to go out once you wake up in the morning to do, your inspirational or what we talked about, with her, self-talk, right? It's a decision to go work out. It's a decision to get up and go to work. It's a decision to make a phone call. It's a decision to follow up with people. It's a decision that everything we do. So again, guys, we can make good decisions or bad decisions. See, guys, over the years, listen, we are where we are right now based on on all the decisions we made in the last 5 years. That's a fact. We are where we are right now based on the decisions that we made. And if your decisions aren't well, guys, we can look at where you are right now and we can say, you know what? I put myself here. And so the sad thing is that some of us, we keep blaming others. We look for other people to, cause blame or say this person caused this situation, when at the end of the day, it was us. It was decisions that we made because we're adult men and women. And so again, here's the thing. You could be in the darkest moment, but one decision away, one light bulb decision away. So I need you to understand, guys, as you start to, every day, as you start to contemplate what's going on, as you start to get into your special place, wherever it is in your life. I don't know if it's a room in your house. It's in your car, right? It's on your back porch. For me, I go to see my flag, right? I love my country. I love being a prior soldier, right? I love going. There's a parking lot that I go to. It's a huge flag in the parking lot, and it gives me clarity. So whenever you go to your special spot, so you can get your clarity so that you can make a better decision. See, guys, that's what it's all about. It's about making a better decision. knowing that you have things going on in your life. And again, there's 1,000 decisions, but all we need is the one for that day. All we need is the one decision for that day to change our lives. The other decisions can come tomorrow. The other decisions can come later on that day. But again, we need one decision at a time to increase the percentages that we can change our lives. Just one good decision. Do you deserve it? You absolutely do. I believe you deserve it. So I'm asking you to have one decision today that's going to change the way you see yourself, your situation, right? Your family, your financial situation, your business, your job, right? Your relationship. See, decisions are all around us. They're not just business. So again, I'm asking you to have one good decision today that's going to propel you to that special place. So again, guys, it's been a motivational moment. I thank you so much, guys. And it's been a pleasing pleasure. I look forward to seeing you guys at the top, from the top, over the top. Take care, take charge, and we'll talk to you soon.
Take care, take charge indeed. Ladies and gentlemen, that was a motivational moment by the one and only Takoya Carlton. Of course, we love and appreciate that energy every time we do get it. Molly, we are so grateful for you. This is only the very first time that we're going to have you on, and I'm so excited. How can people connect with you, Molly, if they want to learn more about your academy, if they want to learn more about your service, if they want to work and get mentorship to overcome what you might have already have overcome? How can people connect with you?
So right now, what we've got is we've got Facebook. That's what we're working off of right now. We're in the process of website building and all that kind of stuff. But man, find me on Facebook and let's chat.
Find me on Facebook and let's chat. And you know her name. She goes by Marie Wilcox, and she is amazing in every shape, form of way. Ladies and gentlemen, we thank you and appreciate you. Elizabeth Cousins is going to be our guest trainer tonight. The founder and CEO herself at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on the Zoom that is on your email if you're part of our academy. If you're not part of the academy, you know you can go to iam.media right now, click on Academy, and you will have your access for an average of $1.50 a day. So we're going to leave you with this last video to wrap it up. Hey, tell them peace out, everybody.
Peace out.
See you later. Peace.
Hey there, my name is Elizabeth Cousins, CEO and founder of Dreamable, a movement that allows you to dream big and live big. Whether that's to start a business, to develop a nonprofit, or to create that total financial freedom that you desire for you and your family, Dreamable's got you. We host a unifying entrepreneurial academy, and we've partnered up with strategic partners and companies to give you the tools and resources to make a difference. Starting with your mindset, to overcoming limiting beliefs, to positioning you within our platforms, plus providing you with live and on-demand hands-on practical training. Platforms like I Am Dreamable, an entrepreneurial community to start, grow, and scale a business, where you'll receive 3 new modules a month on the most practical business processes that creates millions of dollars in revenue. Dreamable Financial Education Partners to make your money work for you. A public relations platform to get you featured within 27 national publications, including the New York Weekly and the Los Angeles Tribune. And work with me directly, the DEO herself, aka Dreamable Executive Officer. Visit me today at dreamablebyelizabeth.com. And remember, keep on dreaming because you never know, they may just come true.